Hello, this is Jaden with Fix Your Funnel. What I want to talk to you about today is implementing the use of SMS for lead capture as a realtor or a real estate agent. Um, Basically, what I want to talk about is using SMS for lead capture as a tactic, some of the ideas behind it, some of the ways you can implement SMS to capture more leads inside of your real estate business. Uh, what I want to start off with, though, is talking about a few of the challenges that are facing real estate agents. Now, you may have experienced some of this or may not, but one of the biggest things I think is creating that personal connection. And this is not unlike any other business where you want to have that connection with your customers. But with house buying and buying a home or selling a home, there's a lot of trust that goes into that. So you want to have the lines of communication open and make it as seamless as possible. The other is there's a large percentage of realtors that I see relying on referrals only. Talk to a few of them, and they talk about how over 50% of their business is referrals only. And obviously, referrals is a fantastic way to earn business, but I wouldn't say it's the only uh, way you want to be doing things. You always want to be casting multiple nets out into the sea, so to speak. Uh, so obviously we want to have structures in place, processes in place that allow us to obtain leads from other areas outside of just getting referrals. The other thing is obviously a growing online competition. Obviously there's a lot of technology out there, a lot of people are using it, a lot of people are doing different things, there's a lot of stuff online, everything like that. The other thing I've noticed is that we're attempting to cultivate leads too far into the buying process. So nowadays, I think the problem here is that instead of trying to get in touch with people and help nurture them through the entire process, we're trying to capture a lead way too far into their buying process. And it makes it harder to keep up and do anything and build that value in that short amount of time that you need to. So we want to be talking about how to nurture those leads, talking to those people, and everything like that. Okay, so what I want to talk about now is how we can use SMS in some ways to overcome some of these challenges. And the first and foremost, talking about that connection, is using SMS obviously allows for that quick connection. It allows you to connect instantly through text, being able to communicate back and forth directly without the use of email and without using your personal information. In examples of like Fix Your Funnel and everything like that, we're able to get a custom number that I'm able to use as my point of contact without using my own personal information. I can connect to my personal information for phone calls and everything like that. I can even get notifications directly on my cell phone, but I'm not using my personal information. I have a business line, and I think that's important. Providing provides a structured way for new leads to become connected. So if we think about this, this is what we were talking about. If we only rely on referrals, we want to have other structures or processes in place. Using SMS as my form of lead capture gives me a process that's structured to become connected with new leads that maybe aren't so much for referrals as they are people that are finding you either through Facebook or they're finding you from your yard signs, things like that. It allows them to become connected much quicker than having to try and find a website if you do have a website, or look you up or make a phone call, anything like that, playing phone tag. And the fantastic thing about SMS, especially in the form of lead capture, which deals with conversations, these automated conversations, I can capture information and I can use it to nurture future buyers and stay on top of everything that's going on in their lives. So people that may not be ready right now, I still have captured their information. I can nurture that whole process. Like what we were talking about before is if we're trying to cultivate that lead way too far into the buying process, it makes it a lot more difficult than if I'm staying top of mind throughout the buyer's entire process. I'm building that connection. I'm staying, top of mind, that kind of connection there. Okay, so what I want to talk about now is some potential areas where you can deploy SMS as your lead generation tool. First and foremost, I've seen people use this before. A lot of great feedback that comes from it, but setting up your yard signs with keywords that connect directly to delivering information on that particular listing. So what's fantastic about that is it works for you regardless of you being there, regardless of you being able to answer the phone. People are able to text this unique keyword and you have a process built to deliver information about that listing or set up a walkthrough appointment for that listing. And what's fantastic about that is everything is automated, so there's not a lot of work on your end until that person becomes connected with you. So you can deliver all of that through the automation you set up in Keep in Fix Your Funnel and have that just working automatically. And outside of that, it allows you to capture that information so that I can begin either marketing other listings that are similar in that area or other just listings in that area in general to kind of stay top of mind, help the customer through that whole buying process and help them find what they're looking for. The other is using it inside of Facebook. So obviously we all are familiar with Facebook. A lot of people use it. You may not be as familiar with lead ads and setting all of that up, but the fantastic thing about this is if I just use a call to action inside of my Facebook account when I'm creating an ad, I don't have to do any sort of wizardry there. I can just set up a simple call text to action. So I can set up a keyword, show my phone number, and have some sort of value put in there to get people's attention, get them to text that keyword and begin delivering on that promise. So I can have a keyword set up to show local listings in a particular area wherever I'm showing that Facebook ad, or just pushing things out into a particular group on site of Facebook so they can keep up to date, anything like that. The other is use inside of local listings. So whether, trying to get sellers to find you to kind of quickly begin their process of listing a new home, or for buyers that are looking in that area to get information about listings in that area. Again, there's no shortage of keywords that I could use, so I could be setting up keywords for all three of these different tactics, setting up my yard signs, doing some things on Facebook, and then use inside of local listings. And the fantastic thing is I can create different keywords that cater to each of these different tactics. I can have different processes behind each one that reach out in different ways or kind of with different goals in mind. So that's the great thing about using SMS is it's versatile. I can do it in different ways and use it across different platforms, social medias, everything. Now, I want to just kind of cover, for those of you that aren't familiar with using text conversations and keywords and everything like that, I want to kind of cover how it works. So it's using a keyword. We've already talked about that a little bit. So I have an example off here to the right from Fix Your Funnel showing you kind of a breakdown of a conversation. Now this one isn't particular to house buying in any way, but I wanted to show you how the structure can work. Now you have your keyword here at the top, and then I have my conversation that I've built underneath. And you can see here underneath each of these texts, I'm saving the incoming information. So this is where it works as lead generation, is I'm able to ask these questions to get this information. So the customer's name, customer's email, everything like that. And then I can begin delivering on those promises of, sending some listings to their email, anything like that, or just throwing it into a live conversation. That's a perfect tactic for these conversations is I can capture the information and then I can open to a question that gets them to respond back again, and then I take it from there, begin talking, begin setting up appointments, talking a little bit more about their particular situation, anything like that. So I'm able to quickly engage with these new leads and obtain their information so that I can begin delivering my value to them. I can connect, I can build that rapport, build that trust, and start working through their problems with them. Now, the other thing I want to cover obviously is what to do and what to avoid when I'm using SMS as a lead capture. These are some of the simple tips of things you don't want to do that's going to help your conversations stay, as optimized as you can. So the first thing I want to talk about is don't create a word wall. This isn't an essay. We don't need it to be 3 paragraphs long inside of your conversations. You want to keep your messages simple and direct. You want to just keep it to the point and provide that value in as little steps as you can. You want to make this process quick so that they can become connected, get their questions answered as quickly as possible, or if they're looking for listing information and I'm texting your yard sign, I don't want to read 3 paragraphs of text before I either get images or just more details about this listing or an appointment through or walkthrough. We want things to happen quickly and we want to make it simple. The other thing is just don't overcomplicate your steps. Now, in my mind, the perfect structure for a conversation is to have 3 steps. I have my text asking for email, asking for a first name, and then I have a final text there that is kind of engaging with them from there. So either I'm asking an open-ended question to kind of engage, or this is another important thing, is knowing when to move into a survey or a form. Now, the biggest thing here especially dealing with real estate. It's a large purchase. There's a lot of information you would need, obviously. So knowing what keyword I'm using, what situation I'm using it in, so I can know when to move it into a survey where I might need to capture more information. I might want to get some ideas of what their price points are, things like that, so I can start delivering on multiple listings. So if I'm doing something for someone who wants, kind of more information about a bunch of listings in their area, I might move this conversation and give them a link to a survey, which you can do through Fix Your Funnel. You can set up mobile surveys, you can set up mobile forms to capture all this information, and then set up your automation inside of Keep to quickly deliver or cater your responses based on what they say in their survey. So I go into my conversation, I get my name and email, and then I send them a link to a survey saying, hey, just go ahead and fill out this quick information so I can learn more about what you're looking for. And then you have questions in there that they can quickly just go through a survey format and fill out what they're looking for. And then you easily set up your automation inside of Keep and cater directly to that. So that's the fantastic thing about using SMS is it's versatile. I can do a bunch of stuff with it. But again, don't overcomplicate the steps. We don't need to have 13 steps in one conversation. Know when to push it to a survey to, again, keep it simple. So in conclusion, I hope you found some value in how you can use SMS as a lead capture tactic. And of course, if you ever have any questions and you want to start investigating Fix Your Funnel further or talk to one of our team about how to begin using some of these tools in more depth, you can go to fixyourfunnel.com and speak with our team through our chat option, or you can text us here at 760-621-8199, and we'd be happy to answer those questions. We'd be happy to start you up on a trial and help you get building some of these things and testing them out. If you have any questions, again, just reach out. See you next time.